What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about ramen. So, as an American, this is what I think of when I think of ramen noodles. This cheap, instant ramen that you get at the grocery store. This is the only ramen that I've ever seen or had, but in Japan, I know that authentic ramen is very popular, and that there's much more that goes into Japanese ramen. So today, I'm very interested in learning about what authentic Japanese ramen is like. If you look at this picture here, I can already see it's way different. This looks much different. There's so much more to it. It looks a lot better. I'm really interested in learning about this, so let's take a look.
Ramen is a widely popular noodle soup dish appreciated all over the world.
Yeah.
Although well known internationally in its instant noodle form, there's much more to this cuisine item than being a dorm room snack. Chinese and all.
Right. Here in America, it's very popular to have instant ramen when you're in college or university, because it's very cheap. A lot of American teenagers like to eat it, and it looks nothing like this. I don't even know what all of this is that goes into Japanese ramen. I'm not sure what all these ingredients are, but it looks like a really interesting dish, much more thick and hearty and full of ingredients.
In origin, since making its way to Japan, ramen has become one of the most popular foods in the country. Often inexpensive, quickly served, and delicious, it's an excellent option for both luxury and budget travelers alike.
Wow, some of this looks really good. Some of this ramen they're showing.
Served and delicious, it's an
Look at that! Look at this. Okay, this this is totally changing what I think of as ramen.
excellent option for both luxury.
What is this? It's kind of foamy. I'm not even sure what is in this one.
And budget travelers alike. With
There are so many different types of ramen. I don't understand. They look really different. So this is a cheap, easy, really popular meal in Japan. I can see why. It's got noodles. I think all ramen has noodles, right? That's kind of like the base of ramen. And then you can add all this other stuff. This Japanese ramen looks like a big, hearty soup. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is way different.
With multiple ramen restaurants called Ramen in just about every town, the dish has developed greatly since coming to Japan. In recent years, some ramen shops have even been awarded Michelin stars.
Wow.
Thousands of variations of ramen now.
Whoa, hold on. I really like looking at some of these pictures. I've never seen ramen so big. There's so much. It's so much bigger, so much heartier. Like, we don't even think of ramen as a full meal in America, because we just think of the instant ramen noodles you can make in a microwave. In Japan, it sounds like there's lots of ramen shops where you can get these big bowls.
Of variations of ramen now exist, and there are also many interesting regional varieties.
Wow.
However, the basic elements of ramen are fairly straightforward.
Okay.
A broth base, long thin wheat noodles, and some combination of toppings. Ramen is categorized according to the style of its base, and the four most popular types are shoyu ramen with a soy sauce flavored broth, miso ramen made with soybean paste or miso, shio ramen, a clear broth seasoned with salt, and tonkotsu ramen made with pork bones.
Oh, wow. There's 4 different types of ramen. I did not know ramen could get this complicated.
As we said earlier, ramen consists of 3 key elements: broth, noodles, and toppings.
Yeah.
There are many combinations that can be found within these three categories, which each ramen shop uses to make a unique flavor and eating experience.
Oh, so there's a lot of different types of ramen. I did not understand how many different kinds of ramen there are, because for me, I just see the ramen that's just noodles. There's so much more that goes into it. And every ramen shop has its own distinct ramen flavor, its own distinct ramen dish. That's really cool. So you can kind of find different ramen shops that have unique ramen that you prefer. It's kind of sounds like a lot of fun exploring all the different kinds of ramen. Like it sounds like endless possibilities.
The broth is usually based on either pork, salt, shoyu or soy sauce, or miso.
Okay.
The noodles are usually long and made of wheat, but they can be made in a range of ways, anything from thin and curly to fat and straight.
Oh, even the noodles can be different.
At some ramen restaurants, guests are even asked for their preference on how thick and firm the noodles are.
Oh,
Lastly,
wow.
there is a large number of ingredients that can be used as toppings. Some popular ones are chashu meat.
Oh, you actually put meat. You actually have pork. Oh, wow, that sounds amazing. I gotta say, this video is making me kind of hungry. This ramen looks amazing. So much better than American ramen, if you can even call it that.
Bamboo shoot, or memma in Japanese. Dried seaweed, or nori.
Okay.
Leek. A soft-boiled egg.
Oh, egg. You actually put eggs and meat in the ramen.
And several others. All these variables allow for millions of combinations, making one bowl of ramen different from another.
Wow.
Many regions in Japan have their own signature styles as well, such as Sapporo Ramen, which uses a thick miso broth and is topped with corn and butter.
Yeah, this almost looks like soup. This almost looks like a vegetable soup to me. I wouldn't have been able to tell this is ramen.
Kitakata Ramen in Fukushima Prefecture, which has a light shoyu-based soup with thick and wavy noodles, topped by green onions, menma, and chashu pork.
This looks good.
Tokyo Ramen, which is so popular nationwide, it has become the stereotypical shoyu ramen.
Tokyo ramen. So this is very popular. This is kind of what people think of when you think of ramen. It's got pork, egg. I'm not sure what that is on the left. It's kind of a spiral. Seaweed and vegetable?
Hakata Ramen in Fukuoka Prefecture, which has a creamy tonkotsu broth with thin noodles.
Nice.
Customarily, the best place to enjoy a bowl in Fukuoka is at one of Fukuoka's many food stalls, or yatai in Japanese, especially along the river on Nakasu Island.
That's so cool. I love the idea of going to a ramen shop on the side of a street or a booth and just sitting down, enjoying a big bowl of ramen. I've never done that, but it just sounds like such an amazing experience that we're missing out on in America.
Onomichi Ramen from Hiroshima Prefecture, which is made with a shoyu soup flavored with dashi fish stock and local seafood.
Nice.
Down in Okinawa, the specialty is called Okinawa soba. This variation has a salt-based soup topped with green onions, kamaboko, soft broiled pork, and fresh ginger.
Wow.
There are many.
I think Americans would really love this. I guess we don't really know how to do it in America, because I think ramen could be very, very popular in America. This looks great to me. I don't always say that about foreign foods from other countries. Sometimes foods from other countries kind of scare me. This looks amazing.
There are many other regional takes on ramen, but hopefully this gives you an idea.
Yeah.
One way to sample many of these regional specialties all in one place without traveling the whole country is at the Ramen Museum in Yokohama, which allows visitors to try various different bowls from around Japan in a setting of Tokyo in the 50s.
So different regions of Japan actually have different types of ramen, kind of depending on where you are in Japan. That's really cool. That's a really, really cool part of Japanese culture. You kind of go to the different parts of Japan and experience what they have to offer.
Aside from putting all the ingredients in the same bowl, there's another form of ramen which is served in a different way. This is called tsukemen. Once served, you dip the noodles into the broth as you eat.
Interesting. The broth is separate from the noodles. I've never heard of that.
How to eat ramen.
How to eat.
Eating at a ramen shop is always an interesting experience. Although at a few shops you can still order as you usually would, many ramen-ya now have streamlined the process by having customers order via a vending machine located at the entrance.
What? You use a vending machine? Wow. What is it? You go to the shop and you push a button? And then what? That tells the shop owner what you ordered? That's actually pretty smart.
After heading inside, hand the tickets to a staff member. Getting a seat at the counter is always a good opportunity to observe the chefs in action preparing your bowl, but of course tables are fine too. In some
Oh, you can actually sit at the counter. You can actually watch them make the ramen. That's really fun.
shops, you can ask for the way you want your noodles to be cooked, either katame, which is al dente, futsu, which is normal, or yawarakame, which is soft.
Oh, so when you go to a ramen shop, you can actually talk to the cooks, the chef. You can actually request different ways to prepare your noodles and your ramen. That is amazing. It's not just ramen that really impresses me. The whole ramen experience sounds really awesome.
Sometimes you can also decide how fatty your broth will be, going from asari, or light, to futsu, normal, to kotteri, which is thick.
Wow, I didn't realize you actually got to customize your ramen, actually.
Once the bowl is presented in front of you, here are the recommended steps to eating ramen. First, sample the broth.
Okay.
Then, try out the noodles.
Okay.
Followed finally by eating the toppings.
Is there actually a certain way you're supposed to eat ramen? It looks like you are supposed to use chopsticks, which would be pretty hard for Americans. Using chopsticks is pretty difficult for me. I have tried. I can pick up solid food like chicken with chopsticks, but eating noodles, that actually sounds really difficult.
One thing that might surprise unaware visitors is that in Japan, ramen is usually eaten by slurping the noodles, sometimes quite loudly. This isn't considered bad manners. On the contrary, it's thought to be the best way to eat ramen.
What? You're supposed to slurp the noodles. You're supposed to. Why? Here in America, slurping is considered very rude. You're not supposed to make sounds while you're eating. So this is actually quite different to America. You're supposed to make a noise in Japan.
By slurping them, you allow the air to cool down the noodles while also keeping them coated in delicious broth. But don't worry, if you can't or do not want to slurp, it's fine. After you finish all the noodles, if you are still hungry and have some broth left in the bowl, some shops offer an extra serving of noodle called kaidama for an additional fee.
Oh, this would be me. This is what I need. I think most Americans would want this. We like to eat a lot in America. So if you have extra broth, you can get some extra noodles and keep going. Oh, perfect.
Also, it's not impolite to not finish all the soup in the bowl, especially with thicker broth like tonkotsu, which has a high amount of fat.
Okay.
Since ramen is considered a type of fast food in Japan, it's good manners to leave as soon as you're finished, since people may be waiting for their turn to eat.
Oh. Do you have a lot of fast food in Japan? Like McDonald's, Burger King? That's what we think of as fast food. Is ramen considered fast food? Or it seems more like it's a food that you get when you're out at a booth or at a little shop. It is quick. Maybe you kind of eat it quickly. It's quick to make. So in that sense, it's fast food, I guess. But it's not like American fast food. It's not like McDonald's or something.
Budget-wise, ramen is a cheap meal, with a bowl averaging around 600 to 1,000 yen.
Wow!
Over the years, ramen has never...
Ramen is actually cheap? Ramen sounds like the perfect food. It looks so tasty. Japanese ramen, that is. Japanese ramen looks great. It's not expensive either.
ceased to evolve, and with recent variations such as vegetarian and halal ramen being developed, it is starting to appeal to an even broader audience.
Okay.
It's exciting to wait and see what the future holds for this unique dish. We hope this video will allow you to experience, appreciate, and enjoy ramen for yourself even more.
That was amazing. This was so cool. Ramen sounds amazing. I don't know why we don't have it here in America. This looks great. There is so much more to ramen than I ever knew. So I really enjoyed this. This made me very hungry. Man, I love this about Japan. This is great. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on ramen. If you're Japanese, if you enjoy ramen, that'd be really cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Japan and learning about Japanese culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.